Hello everybody, these are 10 basic building tips for beginners. So, given that you're probably a beginner, if you're clicking on this video that is, then you probably don't have disabled collisions. Even if you do have disabled collisions, then this hopefully will still teach you something. Anyway, so I have 10 different tips for you. I've laid them all out and let's get started. So the first one is adjust terrain. So having a flat terrain kind of like this is boring, and the next step is to have something like this, like where you have raised. But that's still not enough. If you go into the terrain editor or edit terrain height, you can drag these corners up. And so like this, we're kind of creating a more smooth terrain. And look, it's already looking a lot better. Look at that. It already looks pretty good. It's not the most smooth, I will say, but like that we already have a lot better terrain, I'd say. And it still could be improved, but I'm just quickly going through this. The next one, always paint as you go. This is something I used to do, and when I was making my park, I just didn't paint, or I didn't paint as I went. So like if I wanted a certain theme, like, let's see, if we wanted these to be like gray cobblestone for whatever reason, I would just have it there and not do anything else. But something you should do is like always be painting as you go, so then you can never mess up. And so like this. So every time you add new paths and everything, you just always want to make sure and paint it. Otherwise you're going to have to come back and it's not going to be so good. And like, to come back, paint everything, it's going to take you forever. It's really just better to paint as you go. And also if you use the pick tool and you pick this, it'll still be gray. Like, it'll still match the color, which is great. So it saves you a lot of time if you always paint as you go. Next one, poles are your best friend. If you're making structures like this and you just have walls, that's not very good. You should use poles, and especially like I have these slightly thicker ones with a darker wood color. And as you can see, you can also place them through the walls without disabled collisions. This is great. It just helps like your structures look a lot better. And it also gives some extra support, which goes into our next one. All structures need supports. So this is a barn right here. As you can see, we have a ton of supports for the roof, because something has to be holding the roof, right? It just helps you add a lot of realism. So let's finish this. So here I have, start with this one. Here we have, what is this? I don't know what this thing is called. A bracket, okay? So these brackets, you can place that even through the post and everything. It'll still go through without disabled collisions. And that adds some more. Now we have this beam right here. I know this is called a beam. And we can just place that through. And now it's adding some more. We also have this other frame. That's what it's called in the menu. And we can add that there. And what is that? This support, it looks kind of weird, but when you place it like that, it just adds some more stuff to the top, like that. And yeah, just these simple things, it really helps out your builds. If this was without these supports, this barn without the supports, it would just look so bland and weird. And especially with the post too, it just helps it add a lot of variety, and it makes your stuff look a lot better. The next one, use primitives. So maybe you think that if you don't have disabled collisions, then primitives are kind of useless to you, but they're not. So say if you're making a staircase like this and you want the bottom of them to be something different than the terrain options. So in the terrain options, you just have these things, and sure, some of them are kind of good, like concrete here. Okay, but what if I want something else, like metal plates? And I'll get into those ones. So just grab it from the paint. And now I got these custom stuff. And I can even blend it in with the path. Like that. Another one. You can use these wedge primitives to give a slope. Like say if you're going upwards. Like if you don't just want a blocky thing. You want. Like this would be kind of blocky, right? But if I had these wedges, then it looks more like it's going with these stairs, because it is, right? It just makes the roof look a lot better, really. Also, you might notice your walls are very limited. There's only like the wooden walls, which you can only paint wooden. They can't change from wooden to like any other material. And there's also the brick ones, I think, and maybe metal or something. But there aren't like the rest of the colors. There's no wooden planks, I don't think. There's none of these random materials. So with the primitive cuboid wall, although you can't put it like it'll be in the middle, it'll still help sometimes if you need a different sort of wall. It won't really go with anything else if you don't have disable collisions, but it's an option. And also if you want the floor to be different, I just use these cuboids, which is the standard primitive that's also under there, to make a custom little floor without having to do a path. So that's how I did that right there. The next one. Oh, you should subscribe to me. Yeah, this is Refill Soda here. I make these kinds of videos for Theme Park Tycoon 2, and if you really like my stuff, you should try and subscribe, and it'd really help out a ton. And yeah, okay, next one. So use the advanced roller coaster editor. This isn't really building too much, but it is also kind of building. It helps your roller coasters look a lot better than what the basic editor has to offer. So like this, you could never make this sort of turn in the basic editor. And I do have a tutorial on my YouTube channel about how to use the advanced editor. You should check that out. I'll put a card on the screen. Let's see, next one here. Always fill up empty space. So right here we have a pond. Without these trees, it would just be so bland. So I added a bunch of these trees. And the great thing about these trees is that they cover a lot of space. And sure, they're expensive, but they look really good. Like, yeah, it's $2,600. But if you have the money, I really suggest that you use these trees. The more space you fill up, the better your park is gonna look. And yeah, that's about it for this one. The next one, this is kind of at the beginning of your thing. Estimate how big areas in your park will be. So if you already know you want to have themes in your park, then you should like estimate. Okay, so I want this area to be like the main sort of area. This one I would kind of want to be to a water area maybe. This one like a, I don't know, apocalypse area. And this is the 12 extra plots, so you could also have, okay, I want a, let's see, I want a ninja themed area here, and I want a space themed area here, maybe. And you know, that just helps you organize your stuff, and it just really like, so when you get to building, you know roughly how much you gotta build, so you don't build too much or too little. And then next one, use a lot of props. This kind of goes back to the fill up space, but these props all help spice up your areas a lot. So you can just throw around random wooden boxes or random stuff that doesn't necessarily make too much sense, but it'll still add a lot to your park. And that's what I love about props. It just like adds so much. It's like, okay, without all these things, just be a regular bland area. Alright? And if you look at, let's go back to the barn. You can see it has a bunch of hay bales inside, which just helps add the stuff. Without this, it looks really weird. It just looks so empty. It just helps fill a lot of space. And same thing with the trees over here too. And anyway, So this goes now to our last one. I thought of this one. Very good. Relax, okay? When you're building, take your time. It really helps a lot. You do not want to do things too fast. And honestly, the slower you can do it, the better. And subscribe, by the way. But we're not done yet. I have a bonus one. So my bonus one is get disabled collisions. Disabled collisions helps you do all this stuff. If you've seen any YouTubers, including myself, like build a park, then you've probably seen this thing. Alright? This disabled collisions thing helps you like rotate any object you want in any direction. It helps you put stuff inside of stuff so you can have like more realism, not necessarily inside a snowman, but like if you wanted a bunch of trees, then you could put like a bunch of trees meshed into each other, making like a little forest. And say you don't like it's like a single barrel, isn't there? You don't like how spaced out this barrel is from its friends, then disabled collisions can fix that. It could totally, like, it really changes your game, and it's probably the most important game pass you can buy, honestly. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. This was a lot of fun to make, although it took a lot of time to set up. Yeah, please subscribe, like the video, comment what you think. Anyway, if you guys really like this video, I can try and make maybe 10 more. I don't know. Maybe if you want like advanced tool tips, like say if you already have disabled collisions, then maybe I can do that. I don't know. Just comment what you guys think. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.